Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the Saints Gaming C Twitch channel, your home for the St. Clair Saints varsity esports team. Now we have ourselves a match on our hands. Play versus Rocket League, season finale, final matchup, of course, the entire season, and we need this win to get ourselves a chance even at getting into the playoffs. My name's Dan Banner, also known as Mr. Danners. Joining me again, we have Jackson Brown. Welcome, Jackson. You excited for the final match of the season?
Yeah, man, it is a life or death situation here for the Saints, right? I mean, if they win this, they're looking pretty good at a playoff spot. You know, that forfeit win from Florida, just absolutely huge for us to really make that run. So here we go. We are now sitting in the 41 slot. I'm going to refresh it now just so I can give you guys a little bit more of an update that is going on currently. However, I mean, 41, you got to give props to the guys because they are so good right now. They are looking on fire. You want to see this momentum continue. And we are right around the corner from starting here, folks. I heard a little bit of a countdown. We're still sitting in the number 41 spot. So we are going to be in for a treat. We win. We go to playoffs. We lose. We don't make it. I mean, just the position we're in right now, if we win, we should be going to playoffs.
In theory, because we put ourselves, like you were saying, actually, in the pre-show of the match not being a forfeit, but you're mentioning there, like, of course, tiebreakers are a thing that come into factor. However, the Saints all season long, when they lost, they're usually close games, so that map differential that could be critical into, like, getting us ahead of these teams that have the same record as us, but maybe lost a little bit harder, and we're going to be able to fight for those final positions because, in theory, like you're saying, yeah, we win this, we should be there given our record, but in all reality, it's not necessarily a guarantee either because it is going to be close. Now, just quickly going to switch on over to something real. Sorry, go ahead.
Quick stat. There is, it looks like 44 teams with 8 wins. All right? So 44 teams with 8 wins, and we are 6th out of those 44. And that standings-wise. So that's what we're talking about. Our tiebreaker is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. It gives us the best position possible. And here we have it. Game 1 up against Purdue University. We have on the side of Purdue, going to cheat a little bit. We've got Ineffable Pickle Shooter alongside Mercado for Purdue. And, of course, your hometown squad here for the St. Clair Saints. You know who they are. It's Kamal, it's Garashi, it's Endeavor. Ready to rock here in this first 30 seconds of action.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. You know, we want to see the Saints at absolutely full power tonight. But these teams, both very solid teams. Ooh. And that's going to be Purdue starting things off nicely. Neffable going to find the back of the net. And Purdue B actually leads, starting things off only 31 seconds in.
Unfortunate little bounce there for Endeavor. Of course, he wanted to maybe put that into the corner instead, but did not get the contact he was looking for. Inadvertently, basically using that wall as a backboard, centering it for the other squad. Purdue not going to mistake that opportunity in the slightest. Neffable going to find himself the finishing blow and really putting the heat on St. Clair early here in this first game.
Yeah, I mean, very good stuff now from St. Clair, putting this ball in the side of Purdue. However, you know, it's a little more work than that. You know, it's not as easy as just getting the ball in their territory, right? You got to get a setup and you got to make a play. Kamal is doing exactly that, but it will go wide. But Endeavor takes it off of the goalie. Nice rebound. I heard you scream rebounds in there. Absolutely huge stuff, and that's what we like to see, right? In collegiate Rocket League, higher level Rocket League, you have to be playing for your rebounds because that's when the goalie is the most off guard.
Absolutely. We saw there Mercado was right there ready to make the jump, but just the speed at which that bounced off the post made it extremely difficult, and Saints able to close this one up, or at least tie it up rather, nice and quick. Did not let that run away very quickly, and it's definitely a good thing. And holy smokes, Kamal. He's going to make the aerial play right off the backboard. Beautifully done.
Great stuff. That's going to give Saints the lead after Purdue, you know, took that early one 31 seconds in. But, you know, in the last 50 seconds here now, the Saints have racked up 2 and said, no, this lead is ours. We took it back. So here we go. We are in a 2-1 position here now for the Saints. Looking strong here, right? This cushion is exactly what you like to see from the Saints. However, they have to keep the offense going. You know, you can't let Purdue try to get on them, come and tie this game up. You got to keep on your aggressiveness and keep building your lead.
And it's goals like that, which is why, like, individual skill can sometimes make all the difference. Because I sometimes hear some people, like, talking about Rocket League. It's like, hey, if I just like have the basics if I'm just in the right position. Can I do well? Yeah, in theory you could, but when you have all these, like when you have these extra skills, all this solid mechanics coming out from like your individual plays, it lets you make plays where you should not be able to make plays. Like Kamal takes that thing from halfway all the way up in the air and just dunks it in there himself. Just goes to show how absolutely nuts he is alongside the rest of the players here on the St. Clair squad. So in the lead, looking good with a few minutes left to go.
It's just like people saying, you know, like if I had 100 pitches from an MLB pitcher, I could probably hit one, right? Like that's exactly the same thing in Rocket League, right? You know, there's the odd chance for a goal just because of, you know, pure luck, you know, and basic skills needed. But at the end of the day, like to compete at this level, to compete at the top of PlayVS, you have to have those mechanics down pat, or else you will not have a successful season. All three of the players here on the Saints and all of these players on Purdue all have those skills. And you know, Purdue, a very talent-filled Rocket League school, as this is their B team fighting for a playoff spot right now. Absolutely phenomenal stuff there from them. But yeah, like just as we were talking about it, I mean, it's really comes down to these players' mechanics.
That's one of the beautiful things, the fact that this Purdue University squad has that A team, so that the A team and B team just constantly practice each other. And the A team is things like top 25, so without question, it's a very, very solid school to go up against. And I'm sure they would absolutely love to have two representatives in the playoffs. That looks very, very strong for Purdue University. However, attacking opportunity here for St. Clair Endeavor. Nice little slowdown attempt, but Marcado is just going to send him away from the crease. He's not going to let that one happen. The center does happen, but there's Pickle Shooter going to just at least bring us to the side. Nice little bounce from Kamal. Can he finish it? No, he's not. Ineffable.
So
in position. Rebound. Endeavor takes the goal.
Rebounds. That was his second rebound goal. Huge stuff there from Endeavor. And you know what? Playing off these rebounds is such a huge advantage. Like I was saying, goalie gets caught off guard. Look at that. Wide open net. Ineffable's out from saving that previous shot. And it just makes things beautifully set up for the Saints. Going to result in a 3-1 player, not player advantage, but lead right now here in this matchup. And it really makes these a little bit more struggleful for Purdue. But just as we were talking about Purdue and having a couple teams, you know, having maybe two representatives in playoffs, there's going to be two Saints Rocket League rosters next year. So I'm pretty thrilled about that to get things going.
It is definitely going to be nuts. I cannot wait for, I believe, CRL Summer. We don't even have to wait till September, I think, to see those teams in action. So definitely going to be looking forward to the future. But that being said, we'll still see plenty of these players that we see even here on this team. Maybe even with some new teammates for the next year. Maybe mix them up a little bit. It's all dependent on what Coach Mike thinks will fit. We'll have to see. But that being said, that's all about the future. We still have this game here in front of us. Saints with a 2-goal lead. Solid. Have a little bit of extra insurance, but this is still completely winnable here for Purdue.
Kamal is going for huge plays, and I love to see it because he's been reaping the benefits already. Whether it has been a goal or not, either way, he's been setting up players nicely. Garashi with a great demo there. Gonna put the 3-on-2 for the Saints. Not gonna go as the save comes through from Pickle Shooter, but now the Saints gonna try to keep up that offense. Kamal keeps it in bound. Garashi with a little bounce will not go. And now here we go. Ball bouncing around towards midfield. Ineffable looking for to make the play, but Endeavor catches that player off guard and sends it low.
That was actually a 6 setup there from the side of Purdue, but not going to quite finish it off. Still in the St. Clair zone, however. 10 seconds left to go. As long as Saints can kill off just a little bit more time, this one should be curtains. But a nice little one-timer here from Kamal, getting his second one of the game just to finish this off. Tic-tac-toe and back to Kamal. And successfully finishing that one off. That's the extra nail in the coffin St. Clair needs to finish off this first game.
Yeah, and you know what? Garashi, you know, like we were saying, Mr. Clutch, he only comes out when he needs to. Right now he's playing very good, making plays, playing the defense, playing as that kind of middleman per se, right? Where, you know, you just got to continue to see that play style from him as it's been paying off this game. And the Saints take the first one dominantly in a 4-1 game over Purdue B. And that really is going to set the tone here for the series. Going to really help the Saints' momentum. You know, we were talking about this so much before on how Purdue is based off so much on momentum as they either have a really dominant win or a really dominant loss. I mean, I'm just so excited to see how things go here throughout this, you know. It's going to be very interesting. And, I mean, if the Saints find this next game, I think it's going to make things very difficult for Purdue to try to come back.
Absolutely. We've seen even in the, it would have been the NECC playoffs we saw last week, whenever the Saints get put into a position where they have match point against them, it's like a switch just flips and they go absolutely nuts, able to bring it back most of the time. That being said, though, when they're in the lead, majority of the time, they do not squander it. So in regards to Purdue, they definitely have quite the fight ahead of them. And we'll see if they can start something up here in game number 2 as we get underway.
Yeah, and you know, just as you're talking about that, out of these best of 5 series, I would usually say their Saints' worst games out of those best of 5s are going to be the first 2 always. And that's really worrisome. But to see the Saints pull it off here, and Kamal dribbles it over the goalie, sends that one in, and that's going to be SCC taking the lead, 1-0, only 13 seconds here in this matchup. We are in for a banger tonight here, Danners. Things are off to a great start here for the Saints. And I mean, to be completely honest, just as we were talking about that, right? I mean, it was an absolutely phenomenal thing because the Saints' worst 2 games, I should say, sorry, were gotta be their first 2, and they've started off on an absolute banger here. So they're going to look to kind of run with the pace of things here, set the tempo of this game, and it's paying off for them. If they can get an early 2-0 lead here, I think they will be seeing a playoff spot in their foreseeable future.
Absolutely. We've seen multiple times across most of the seasons, it does take them a couple of games just to kind of get warmed up. But then once Game 3 kind of rolls around, Game 4, all of a sudden they're just like really starting to hit their marks. That being said, though, because of the forfeit earlier, everybody's already online. So it's like, hey, let's get playing, let's get ready with practice. That was a nice little setup there from the Saints. Endeavor tries to find the shot, but Mercado coming in clutch, getting behind that, keeping it out of the net, and now turning this into a centering attempt here for Purdue.
Yeah, Kamal just trying to send that one in from long, will not go. That was Pickle Shooter is there for the save. And now it is on the attack for the Saints. Kamal looking to find another one, but that one will not connect. Garashi continuing to play that defensive position here right now, as it's been paying off so far so good for the Saints. Garashi making big plays there on that midfield defense position. Now, let's see what they can do here as Purdue is on the attack. Big defense here now for the Saints. Endeavor dribbling the ball towards midfield, and he has just completely put these opponents off guard. The side of Purdue looking kind of lost when Endeavor's sending that ball up solely through midfield.
Absolutely. We got to watch out, or the side of Purdue has to watch out for both Endeavor and Kamal. They've definitely shown that they have some, those, not dancing shoes, they have like slicks on or something with those, with these Rocket League cars, because they are absolutely able to drive around everybody. And then one thing that's also neat is Garashi. He's the no silliness kind of player. He's like the defenseman on the blue line, ready with the hard slap shot, just ready to take the shot when necessary. As he's going to find well, not exactly that, but he finds his opportunity to maybe prove me wrong a little bit. Squeaking past the defenders, Ineffable not going to find the right contact. He gets it off the wall, and he does get past Pickle Shooter and Mercado as well, and puts it right on in. Eat my words. Nice lead on Garashi.
Yeah, very good from Garashi. That's going to put him on the board here in this series. So now, all the Saints have found the back of the net. Let's see if the momentum continues. 2-goal lead. Going to provide them a nice cushion. Kamal tries to go huge with Ineffable there for the save. A little bit wide from the shot from, I think that was Garashi or Endeavor. But, I mean, overall here now, Saints continuing to keep this one on the offense. Endeavor just setting it to the corner. They're going to gather some boost, and they're going to try to make another play. I like the reset there from the Saints. Oh, my God, Kamal going for that flip reset. Mercado going to get the best of it, so it will not go in.
Net.
But this is a wide open net, and Endeavor is going to take advantage of it. That's going to be the Saints with a 3-0 lead, and it is going to look difficult here now for Purdue to try to send this one back.
It's just rough defensive play coming out here from Purdue. It's oftentimes either a bit of an overcommit on the first save, or Mercado or somebody does make that first save, but then the rebound is just completely unattended to. And that's when you need like somebody additional on defense to come help you out here. And we might start seeing a little bit of feistiness coming out of both sides here, especially from the Purdue side of things, because they are not going to have any any more of this this rush here from St. Clair.
One thing I do want to talk about is that I don't know if it's as much Purdue's defense compared to, you know, maybe St. Clair's offense just looking amazing right now. And also the fact that Purdue just can't get the ball out of their zone. Like, yeah, that has something to do with defense. And there's Garashi going for the blow-up. Yeah, that's payback because he got blown up just a couple minutes ago. But yeah, just as I was talking about that, the big thing here is Purdue able to get this ball out of their zone. They need to be able to take it out. Mercado doing exactly that. Nice throw lane. He saved his own shot. He saved his own shot, and Pickle Shooter's like, don't worry, I got your rebound. And he puts that one in. Purdue going to find the goal.
What this was calculated. That was goaltender interference at its finest there. He kind of made his own save, but that ended up kind of inadvertently hitting away the defender from St. Clair and centering it. So is Purdue going to get themselves on the board, keep this even, 2-goal game with 1:30 left to go. If they can keep this ball out of their own net, this is still extremely doable. A little bit of a double commit here for St. Clair, going to possibly turn this around, and now Saints have to defend fast.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I wanted to see from Purdue, though. A more aggressive play style. Like, yes, defense is important, but when you see the Saints win 4-1 there in that first game, I'd be kind of more worried about getting some more goals on the board. If you're ever losing a game, you should at least try to get that more than that 1-goal marker, right? Because, I mean, Rocket League, yes, it's only 5 minutes long, but scoring isn't too difficult, but that's a wide-open net. And there's 3-2 game. Mercado gonna find one now. Purdue only trailing by 1, Danners. Saints are in a little bit of a hot water situation here now. Gonna have to play intense defense.
That was actually sick there from Mercado. The perfect pass interception. That was kind of being lobbed up there from Endeavor. He made the pass over to Kamal, but it was like a pop fly ball. It just took forever to get to its target. Mercado beats Kamal to the punch and just throws like just a crawler into the net. Bring this within 1. 45 seconds left to go. It's right back into the St. Clair zone. Can Purdue keep this there? Otherwise, it could be curtains for game 2. Big shot, but going to get pushed aside.
Oh, huge save, a pickle shooter. Kamal has had a ton of clutch saves in this whole season. You like to see them continuing to come out. We've made it halfway through. I call this a penalty kill. Garashi, nice little tap on the save. Mercado, look at it, back in. Kamal, he can't get there. Mercado is going to beat Mr. Clutch today as he finds himself 2 when Purdue was trailing 3-1. This is going to put things out of 3-3 situation. We could very well see it overtime here now, Danners. This is when the Saints need to turn up and get in their best form.
Honestly, big props there to Pickle Shooter on the side of Purdue. He not only was the one getting the assist on that, but he finds himself the punt as well, and he's going to possibly find himself the game winner here as he just gets the centered attempt from Neffable right off the wall, pushes it down. Hey, buddy, there you are. Finish it off. Nobody home. It's 4-3 in Purdue's favor.
Yeah, and I mean, that goal looked very nice, and it was very quick. That's exactly what they needed. So, I mean, if you're Purdue or St. Clair there, you're kind of just banking on an OT a little bit. But Pickle Shooter says, no, not today. We're going to find this goal, and we're going to find this goal now. Now, this ball sitting in Saints territory, they're struggling to find an offensive play. You see Kamal and Endeavor going on the attack here now, but everybody on Purdue just sitting in the net, just bouncing this off the ground. Danners, I'm going to lose it. Danners, I am going to lose it, man.
This is karma from last week. Last week we had ourselves a win.
Opposite, and that saved us.
And it saved us, and we get it bit back at us right on the goal line.
Look at that.
Holy moly!
I was literally just standing up, man. Oh my gosh, it's just so I wish that if it was if in the goal line the clock didn't stop, right? Like it was all right, the clock doesn't stop if the ball's in the air or on the goal line. That's the only thing. But you know, it does end up on the goal line, and that's gonna be a tie series. You know, the Saints were up 3-0 in that one, or 3-1.
It was 3-1 at one point, yeah.
Yeah, 3-1.
I think you're right.
Yeah, it was 3-0. And so for the Saints to really just not be able to close that one out, that's a little bit of a tough balance, and it could ruin things momentum-wise for them. But let's see if they can come back feistier than ever.
We have a series on our hand there. Purdue definitely maybe the ones taking the Saints kind of spot where maybe game 1 isn't necessarily their favorite, but give them a round to kind of warm up. And now they're the ones making the plays. They're finding the shots. Again, Purdue's Pickle Shooter finds himself in a bit more of an enforcer role as well, pushing the goalies aside and making the plays happen. However, brand new game, clean slate here. Saints are on the attack, and they're going to start off nicely. It's going to be Endeavor from, or Garashi from Endeavor.
Yeah, Garashi from Endeavor, not the other way around. Endeavor, nice setup there. I really like these setups from the side of the Saints. I find that they always use above the net as a kind of like a backboard in basketball, right?
Exactly.
And they really make plays off of it, and it really gets the goalie kind of off-centered. It really helps them out, and I like to see those plays always come through for the Saints. I love bar down shots in Rocket League, but they're so difficult.
It's definitely hard to respond to. This one not going to jump in St. Clair's favor, going to kind of bounce away. And then One more little centering attempt there from Kamal is going to get pushed aside by Mercado. Of course, Purdue now down one nice and quick. Still plenty of time, however. And we've seen the kind of comebacks they've made. Game 2 was definitely a tough one for them, but they still managed to get the win. Kamal, however, he's going to score. Finds himself the second goal for St. Clair. First one of this game. He takes this all the way to the crease, snaps one ankle, and then just puts it past Neffable into the goal. Beautifully done there. St. Clair 2-0.
You can't ask for a better goal than that there, Danners. That was, like you just said, beautifully done. And Kamal just, like, he has done that countless times in this series alone, where he has taken the ball from coast to coast. Like, he has just completely taken it and ran with it. Garashi looking to find another shot, and that doesn't go, but the rebounds are there from the Saints, just unable to take advantage of it. And now you're going to see Garashi kind of float back, send that into the corner, and it's going to result in the Saints keeping their 2-0 lead here. Now, the big thing I got to see from the Saints is them to keep this lead in their favor, right? You know, we saw last minute kind of struggles there from the Saints, you know, closing things out. Let's hope that they can fix that up in this one.
That was a close attempt there with Kamal getting demoed off like that. The 2-on-3 attempt from Purdue was definitely threatening, but unfortunately could not find the finishing blow. Did get pushed aside here. So now ball's kind of floating in the center spot. Garashi tries to make a play. Neffable, however, good little steal. Takes the shot, but Kamal is there in the background. Centered, though. Huge pass. And Neffable going to finish the job. We have a 2-1 game.
Yeah, huge stuff there from the Saints. I mean from Purdue. But yeah, Purdue really doing a great job there. You know, great setup, like you were saying. You were commentating out that whole thing, and it was a beautiful goal. And that's exactly what Purdue needed to really close in the gap between these two teams here now, right? The Saints up 2-1, or sorry, they were up 2-0. Purdue bring things back now 2-1, but Kamal wanting to find another one immediately. He sends that right in top right corner, bounces off at the backboard a little bit, but Endeavor there. It's not necessarily a rebound, I would say, but it's pretty close to it, Danners. And that's what's so huge with these Saints. Playing off of these rebounds, playing off of these close net bounces, always having a player ready.
That might have been the sickest pass I've seen all season from pretty much any of the teams there. I believe that was a flip reset stuck in there just to get that extra little push towards the center. But speaking of a ball getting centered here, Neffable had himself the opportunity, but a huge save from Kamal, and it's going to allow Endeavor to take this upstream. Can he manage to find a passing opportunity? Not this time by, but from Kamal to Endeavor's shot, going to be going wide. Kamal's getting aggressive, takes care of Pickle Shooter. Garashi going to center this again. Mercado gets a piece of it, however, and they're going to take control for just a second. Saints had a good little bit of pressure there for just a moment, but now it's back in their zone. It's looking scary.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, the Saints have just been kind of like lucky, I would have to say, because this ball has been bouncing around the outside of their net quite often, and for that ball not to trickle in at least one of these times is pretty fortunate there for the Saints. So, good stuff there from them. However, one thing I do also want to touch on is the dynamic duo right now from Endeavor and Kamal. You know, Garashi, he made a great solo play right there, but I'm just going to continue on my subject. Like, Endeavor and Kamal, I don't know if it's just like if it's just me tonight, but I'm really seeing a lot of chemistry between the two tonight.
It definitely helps when you have the midfielder and the forward, so to speak, kind of on the same wavelength. And it's also nice to see the player labeled as the defenseman of sorts, for that being Garashi, finding his time to shine. Basically just blue lining it, similar to the analogy I made earlier. Goes up to the skies, finishes it off. Nice little finishing blow to put a little bit of extra pressure here onto Purdue. Down by 3. I mean, we've seen them do this before, but this is still a very rough spot to be in with about 1:40 left on the clock. It is in the St. Clair zone, but they're not going to be able to get a whole heck of a ton left until Pickle Shooter finds himself that opportunity. He's been more of the playmaker, not necessarily the shooter, but still finding his chance nonetheless.
Yeah, so going to be the Saints now looking to get the ball out of their zone and take this onto the offensive side of things. But Mercado there to say no, 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 not happening. And Neffable going to be playing that blue line like we were talking about a second ago. And he is going to try to keep that in. However, this ball is going to bounce right into the side of Purdue, and the Saints looking to make a play here now, but Mercado going to be taking this from coast to coast. Kamal playing the defense. The Saints are doing a great job of really keeping this ball kind of towards midfield, out of their net, kind of like no shots allowed for Purdue, basically, and that's huge for the Saints, really beneficial to their scoreline.
Yeah, the ball may have been kind of stuck in the St. Clair zone for at least a little bit, but there's never been a shot that's been extremely threatening of sorts. Kind of been kept to the sides, kept to the corners, and just been able to kind of kill some time here. Like all these aerials, we see Endeavor with a nice little pass off the crossbar. Nice attempt there from Garashi. Can Kamal find a finishing blow? He's going to hit the post, and Marcano is finally going to push that aside. But all of these extra shots, all this extra hang time, all this air is just time killed off the clock, and it's going to be Endeavor, who almost had a chance for himself. Hits the crossbar yet again. Shot on target. Marcano going to make the nice save, though. He's been absolutely killing it there in the goaltending position. But unfortunately, there's just been too many shots to try and deal with here. With 10 seconds left, Game 3 is looking like it's all St. Clair. Pickle Shooter going to get themselves on the board, though. So it does leave a little bit of unlikely wiggle room.
Yeah, Pickle did a great job of getting himself on the border there, and just as you were talking about, so many shots on net from the Saints that it just couldn't. It's not as much, you know, maybe the shots on net, like Saints could have scored. It's more or less that the Saints were just on the offense, and that's just running down the clock. Like, the clock is the big thing right here for Purdue, as you only see 4 seconds remaining, and the Saints are all on the offense still. This is just kind of not possible for Purdue anymore. You're going to see the ball touch the ground there. You see some GGs in the chat go down. St. Clair and Purdue now are 2-1 in favor of St. Clair, and, I mean, this is exactly the position St. Clair wants to be in, but to be completely honest, I mean, St. Clair was up 4-1 in that game number 2, and if they were able to close things out here, we'd be all set and done 2-3-0s for the night.
Absolutely, and I'm just, like, the shot difference in this game alone was absolutely nuts. With the Saints, they had 14 shots that game. Meanwhile, the side of Purdue had about 7. So, like, exactly, double the shots means double the saves, the amount of times that you're getting put out of position, double that as well. Marcano could be the best goaltender in the world at always stopping the first shot, but there's always the rebound you have to worry about. It's just not been exactly working out for him here today. He's trying his damnedest, but he's got to... Him and the rest of the Purdue squad need to pull it through here in Game 4, otherwise Saints are going 2-0 on the day.
Yeah, which would, I mean, put them in a playoff spot. We were talking about that, but if you guys are new here, this is a make-or-break game. Last game of the regular season, and the winner of this is most likely going to be getting a playoff spot. So it's going to be fairly interesting to see how things play out, but so far so good for the Saints as they lead the series 2-1, but there is still some work to do, Danners. They still got to find that last one and close things out here. We got a clean slate scoreline 0-0, and it is going to be all Saints on the offense right now. Endeavor trying to keep that in the zone, but that is Marsato taking it out. Endeavor kind of floating that above his net. Kamal comes off the wall right and does a great job of putting that back in the Purdue territory.
Kamal taking it to the skies. Pickle Shooter going to push this one aside, however. Good save in that regard. Ineffable going to be taking it to the skies himself. Has Garashi there to try and deal with. Garashi does make the initial save, but Pickle Shooter is there continuing to add interference. Mercado tries to make the shot himself. Does collide with Endeavor, however. Garashi going to try and chase Ineffable down. Not going to go in his favor. Kamal to the skies. Going to try and put off the backboard. He is going to be interfered with as well. Back to Endeavor in the corner. However, Pickle Shooter going to push this aside. Bit of a ping-pong match to kind of start this one off. Back and forth, but nobody really getting a good opportunity.
Yeah, you know what? Garashi for Defensive Player of the Week. I'll tell you that right now because he has been doing phenomenal stuff playing that defense position while still making offensive plays. You will see Kamal fall back on the defense a little bit here now. Just going to send that right back into Purdue territory. Going to be those boys trying to make a little bit of an offensive play here. Now Kamal, though, will get demoed, making things a little more difficult. But Endeavor, I didn't even see him. He just kind of came out of my screen like nowhere. Endeavor comes flying by, gets a shot on the net, but doesn't go. Now you see the Saints and Purdue 0-0, and I feel like this is kind of like one of the longest streaks we've had without a goal. Endeavor will find it though. I eat my words. You know, Dan, it's the caster curse. You know, oh yeah, we haven't had a goal in 2 minutes. It's like the longest time we haven't had a goal. Endeavor, oh don't worry, I got you guys.
Absolutely unfortunate there for Purdue, but perfect on Endeavor for the side of St. Clair to finish that one off. Mercado jumped to try to make the save, but did not have the proper impact. That ball just went straight up inadvertently, basically just teeing up Endeavor. Just knocked that right into the back of the net. Going to give them the lead here with 3 minutes left to go. Purdue's PlayVS playoff hopes within a couple minutes of being squandered unless they can get themselves back on the board here. And it's going to be all up to these guys to try and make it happen. But right now, Saints back in the offensive zone. Centering attempts going to be pushed aside by Ineffable. Garashi, however, slow bounce off the backboard. Can he finish it off? Mercado going to say no. No opportunity this time by. But now Kamal's got it. Passing it up to Endeavor. One more time off the backboard. Ineffable is going to control this one.
Yeah, you know what? Mercado has been doing a very good job of really stopping these backward plays. You know, he's read that from the Saints in the first couple of games, and now we see Mercado actually going huge here, stopping those backward plays from coming in, and allowing the Saints to really, you know, stop their offensive abilities. And I think it's going to make things a lot more difficult now for the Saints to score.
Okay, backdrop there, the pickle shooter. I like the attempts from the side of Purdue. However, it's going to be Garashi. Once again, you're saying defensive player powerhouse, and that is exactly what he's doing, and it sets up Kamal to finish the job for himself. Has himself another coast-to-coast, and he gets past Neffable, finishing it off to give the Saints a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, amazing stuff there from the Saints. And that's a huge goal, right? Because at that time, we were on a 1-goal differential. All Purdue had to do was find one, and they were going to be at least able to force an OT. So now, with 2 minutes on the clock, they got to find 2 goals. That's a lot more work, and especially even more as that ball trickles in from Kamal. I tell you, that ball was on the goal line for like 10 seconds, and it does eventually make it through. You see it trickle, 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 trickle. Kamal, bang, sends it in. Purdue now trailing 3-0. I just said it's going to be a big challenge for them. Going to be even more of a challenge here now, Danners.
There comes a point where the pressure gets put onto you, and do you crack or do you like persevere? Do you rise to the occasion? And it looks like to me, Purdue didn't just cracked, but they just straight up shattered here in game number 4. Unfortunate plays happening here. A 6 shot from Garashi, do not get me wrong, but these are like not standard, but these are plays that we've seen Mercado. He's made those saves today. We've seen Pickle Shooter and whatnot make those saves. This entire Purdue squad were always in position for those kind of things, and they're somehow slipping by, and I don't think the Saints are done just yet. They want the finishing blow here to be like the 5-0 mark. Garashi from the sweet spot, basically. Gonna take the shot, going to get stopped eventually, though. Back in the St. Clair zone, but with a minute 20 left, it's looking solid here for St. Clair. Purdue needs a miracle to get themselves back in this one.
Yeah, you know, at this point, Pickle Shooter, you will find himself a goal, but like I've constantly repeated, yeah, Purdue, still tons of work to do, right? Only, this is, what is it, 77 seconds on the clock? Not a lot of time to really make a play for the side of Purdue. And, I mean, they got to find 3 goals in then. Where the Saints, they can just as easily find a goal. All you got to do here as the Saints is run this clock. Get some demos, push some cars out of the way, limit their opportunities to score, and just keep your offensive going. You know, whether maybe less, you know, going for these aggressive shots, but more or less kind of like dump the ball, you know? And that's what I'd really like to see here from the Saints. Only 1 minute now on the clock. The time has been ticking, and now it is going to be Purdue, still trailing by 3.
Absolutely. Mercado's going to try and make something happen here, but we need basically 3 goals to tie this up within 45 seconds. Definitely not unheard of. This could be a start of something, though. Pickle Shooter from Neffable to get this within 2 with 45 seconds left. Unfortunately there, Garashi got a piece of it, but Neffable, beautiful job getting that second touch. End up being the passing play to Pickle Shooter as well. So we still have ourselves a game.
And you know what? Purdue actually is going huge here. Pickle Shooter, I don't even want to try it. Yeah, so we actually just see Pickle Shooter going huge, right? And I mean, that's exactly what we like to see. He's been very clutch, even in game 1. I think that was game 1 or no, game 2, where he really put themselves, Purdue, into that winning position, and it's going to really help them out close out there. So Pickle Shooter looking to pull that off again, but time is really becoming of the essence. Yes, this ball is floating above the safe net, and Neffable just finds a flick. Danners, I'm a little worried now. There isn't a lot of time. The Saints just got to play hardcore defense, but that is a little worrisome. Garashi there makes a save. No defense around for the Saints off that rebound. Going to result in Purdue finding yet another one. Looking a little bit worrisome here. I would not be surprised if we do see an overtime, because Purdue has been so clutch here in these last moments.
Question marks were pinging in my head after that one, but it was just good reaction time from Neffable. One more breakout opportunity. This could be the make or breaker. Pickle Shooter, he's looking to juke it. Can he do it? He ties it up 4-4 with 4 seconds left on a huge individual effort.
Yeah, like I literally said, that's why I said at the 17-second mark, I was like, this game is not over. This game has a plenty way to go. 17 seconds in Rock League can make a big, big difference, and this is exactly what we're seeing right here. Still a 2-1 game, most likely going to go to OT unless we can see a really early goal. Being in the corner doesn't really look like we will, but OT kind of incoming. Like, Danners, this is going to be intense. Saints win this, they can close things out. Saints lose this, we're heading to map 5 to decide who's going to make playoffs, who's not.
That was definitely a close scenario right off the face-off. Pickle Shooter was forced to make himself available nice and quick. Awkward save here. Grashi is going to stop it, though. Puts into the corner. Neffable still has it, though. The rest of his team, though, kind of struggling for boost. They're going to go off into the defensive position. Over to Mercado. Over to Pickle Shooter. Into the corner of the Saints zone. Tries to make the centering pass. It is going to get there. Grashi, though, going to push it aside once again. Neffable looks to drop it for center, but it's going to be a Believe Endeavor up there. It's going to push this aside. Stuck in the Purdue zone, kind of in the center actually, as we hit the 30-second mark here in this overtime.
Yeah, you know what I find crazy? Purdue actually tied up this game, and Endeavor blocked the opponent there, and it almost went in. Come on! He's gonna find it! Your St. Clair Saints will be heading to play versus Rock League playoffs, everybody. And that is a phenomenal game. Saints, they're going to let Purdue crawl back a little bit, make this one 4-4. Saints close it out, though. 5-4 win, 3-1 series win, and your Saints will be going to play versus playoffs.
Oh my goodness, they gave us a show at the end there, making our hearts race ever so slightly, but in the end they do secure the 3-1 victory, putting them in the best case possible, more than likely, into these play versus playoffs. Beautifully done there from St. Clair, but honestly though, huge plays from Purdue. Massive props to that squad, and huge plays on Pickle Shooter for that very final play to even bring that to an overtime to begin with. So many players I see crack, and like I even called it out when it was like 4-1 at that point. I was saying like Purdue's done. They're cracked. They're shook. I love being wrong. They definitely made it nice and close there for us, but nonetheless, the hometown squad getting the dub today.
You know, it was Purdue a minute and 18 seconds left in that matchup. Purdue was down 4-0 still. At a minute 18. So to think about things there, put things in reference, like they scored 4 goals in a minute and 17 seconds, and Pickle Shooter was 3 of them. Pickle Shooter got himself a hat trick in a minute and 17 seconds to tie up the game and give Purdue a chance, you know? And that's all you can really ask from the guy. Purdue gave a very good effort. You can tell they gave it their all. They get 1 goal there. They're not out of this thing, right? Like you said, this is kind of over. 4-0. But, I mean, overall, like, this is just a phenomenal game. Your Saints looking like they will be heading to playoffs. And, I mean, just congrats to those boys. They have been absolutely amazing throughout this whole season. They had a few hiccups, especially last week with those 2 losses. But tonight, with a 3-0 and a 3-1, you cannot ask for a better storyline.
Absolutely. I was just about to say, I think that this was all just calculated so that they can give me the best possible storyline to have this broadcast, and then the next broadcast, if the playoffs do end up working out here for us, which in theory, I'm just taking a look at my calendar real quick. It is scheduled for play versus playoffs, going to be the weekend of May 8th and 9th. So still got a couple weeks to figure it out, everything. The rest of the standings and like the rescheduled matches need to play out first to kind of see what the what the final situation, the final standings do end up looking like. Of course, to make sure that you get on top of, get the most up-to-date news, be sure to follow us on our Saints Gaming CA Twitter account as well as our Twitch here. That way, whenever we get the confirmation that, yes, we're in playoffs for sure, because I keep saying if, because I'm just worried still about some other records plus tiebreakers. That being said, I think we got it, but I don't want to say for sure yes.
Be completely honest, like I kind of just don't see a world where we don't have it. Right now, before all updates are complete, our final record is 9-5 with a 32-18 game record. We're currently sitting in the 27th seed after that being updated, so we can afford to drop 5 spots. But I mean, not much more than that. And to be completely honest, there is it really does look like, honestly, we should have it here. Looking like we could lose it, but it looks like we're in fairly good position, right? 27th. If we do make playoffs, we're probably going to be a 29, 30, 31, 32 seed. One of those 4.
And I just also want to then also give out a big special thank you to the University of Florida for gift wrapping us a match by not showing up to your match tonight. Big thank you there, because that definitely made things nice and easy for our playoff run. But then Purdue, they made us work. They made us work for it, that's for sure. Holy smokes, what a night.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Purdue, it's kind of like reminds me of our last series on the doubleheader last week, where we had that 3-0 from, I forget what school it was, but we got 3-0'd, right? But, I mean, right after we get 3-0'd, not right after. All the games were within like a goal or overtime. So I can really represent to that to what Purdue did tonight, where they either forced an overtime, they had a lot of good opportunities. It was a very close matchup, and like you were just saying, Purdue made the Saints work. And that's what we like to see. Me and Danners, we like to hop on here. We don't like to constantly sit here and see blowouts. Yes, we do want the Saints to win. Yes, we are unbiased, but at the end of the day, right, you gotta love to see the Saints making playoffs, and you gotta see a good game. Like that's one of the main things here. It's way more entertaining for me to be on my feet screaming about like crazy stuff to happen with a 4-0 comeback after a minute and 17 seconds in the game. I mean, it's just unreal. Rocket League is an unreal game. I mean, I just kind of learned my lesson that you can never count a team out.
Absolutely. If my years of watching esports or even like something like F1, if it has taught me anything, is that when you see the same person win over and over again, you kind of start to tune out, which is why I always love to see super close matches, regardless, even if it's against us. I want to see these other teams, especially like new squads, new schools coming up, like really either challenge our Saints, or if it's not a Saints match, just constantly going back and forth with each other, because just with everybody leveling up together, it just makes things so much more interesting. So whether it be collegiate or scholastic esports in general, it's just so good to see. And I'm happy these past couple matches have been very, very pleasing, to say the least, in regards to entertainment.
Yeah, well, that is going to call us for the play versus regular season. But, I mean, to be honest, it was a great one. Like, this Rocket League squad has showed us so many highlight moments throughout this whole season. You absolutely love to see it. We'd like to thank all you guys, viewers, coming out here and tuning into this matchup. We'd love to see you guys all coming in here, supporting the squad, supporting the stream. It's a very nice for me and Danners to kind of look over and see, yeah, like we got some people really cheering us on. Maybe not us particularly, just sitting here on the mics, but cheering on the squad, right? And we do love to see it. So very appreciative of all you. And we are also very appreciative of our sponsors, because we would not be able to put on this production without them. So thank you to the St. Clair College Alumni Association, PC Outlet, the Zekelman School of Business and Information Technology, St. Clair College, Tim Hortons, and the St. Clair SRC. Like I was saying, would not be able to put on this production without them. Huge, huge help. Thank you guys so much for that. And finally, I think you guys know what I'm gonna say if you're a regular here in the Saints broadcast.
Does it have anything to do with that shirt that you're wearing?
If you want to get yourself some nice Saints, I'm going the wrong way. If you want to get yourself some nice Saints apparel, look at this. You got my name on the back and everything.
Whoop.
And no, it's all.
There we go.
Oh yeah. So we got the sponsors on there. Everything looks great. We got masks, we got jerseys, we got sweaters, we got jackets, we got t-shirts, we got what you can ask for. Guys, that is all going to be at acquire.ca/Saints. You guys can get your merch there. It is looking phenomenal, feels comfortable, and I could not ask for better quality. So very good stuff there from Acquire. Huge thank you to them as well for supplying all of our merchandise. And it looks great, like I was saying. If you guys want to get some, I mean, go ahead, acquire.ca/Saints. But now, Danners, we're not really too aware of what our schedule is going to be like in these upcoming weeks. We really don't have a whole lot on still because the semester's over. But we got some playoff games. We got Play versus Fortnite. We got Play versus Rock League, and we got a little bit of COD. So,
yeah.
And honestly, but most of that is just going to be streamed on channels that are the leagues, right?
Yeah, we're trying to figure that out right now. Actually, sorry to cut you off, but yeah, because that's right now. Like, I'm being told that for Play versus Fortnite solos, like individual runs, that'll be on the 3rd and the 4th of May. But then, of course, we have on that in theory could be on our channel, that could be on the Play versus channel. Either way, make sure that you have us followed anyway, because that's scheduled for 5 o'clock. Whether it's on our channel or not, if you go to our channel, I'll make sure that you're either at the right place or you're redirected to the right place. And then on the 8th, it's showing, okay, I mentioned Call of Duty, the Activision Blizzard crossover with CCL. That'll be happening on the College COD channel, not here. Play versus playoffs then for Rocket League start on the 8th and 9th. And then Play versus trios, in theory, should be, or Fortnite trios rather, in theory should be the finisher of our entire season, at least as of this moment. That is on the 10th and the 13th respectively. So the season slowly but surely winding down here. It's definitely been insane. I know you and I, for a little while there, we were going basically 7 nights a week, and It was definitely a super exciting time, but now we get to breathe a little bit in between broadcasts, eh?
Yeah, for sure. So, we were going almost every night, really getting out these broadcasts to you guys, and I cannot have more of a blast. I cannot have more of a blast doing it. I love putting on these shows for you guys. I know Danners does as well. We love putting on this content for you guys. We love showing you guys the St. Clair rosters. But guys, I mean, for now, I don't know exactly when we're going to see you again. I know we don't really have a perfect idea. Danners just gave a little bit of a rundown, but hopefully we do see you guys again here on the stream shortly. But if we don't, my name is Jackson Deprived Brown, joined alongside Dan, Mr. Danners Banners, everyone. And this was Play versus Rocket League regular season, finishing this thing up. And just like that, we are going to be concluding this one for the night. But we'll be back with you guys hopefully shortly.